Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Blank Scripture. This is Lee Kameron. Right here on the right-hand side, we have Miss Anisha Gates. It is a new day. You're most welcome, Miss Anisha Gates.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. And right here, we have Mr. Mike, a.k.a. Odumeje. Mr. Mike, you're most welcome to the Artzrepublic Studios.
Thank you all for having me.
And today, without much ado, are you equipped to change your surroundings? Or is your surrounding equipped and ready to change you? Which one? Miss Anisha Gates, we have this discussion in which people think that wherever they find themselves, they are able to change their surroundings. I have a friend, a lady, who says every time that, oh, I have my friends, they are all bad, they all go clubbing, but I'm different. Do you think that girl's different?
I think she might be different in her own way, but your surroundings, you're a part of your surroundings. And if you take yourself out of that surroundings, then you're a different person. But if she's in that surrounding, no, she's hanging out with the people she want to hang out with. So she's a part of that environment. She's allowing herself to be in that environment. So that means she's a part of that environment.
That's very true. So, Mr. Mike, what do you think?
To my own understanding, she's part of environment, from your question, but if she don't hang out with them, or she hang out with them, it just depends.
Remember, she's 100% part of the group.
Part of the group.
There is no exception. There's no difference between she and the other girls, because whatever they do, wherever they go, whatever they say, whatever they see, she sees.
Okay, that mean they're together.
So any girl will say that, oh, my friends, you say they are bad, they do this,
okay,
but I'm different. You think she's different?
Okay,
in other words?
There's one adage that said, show me your friend.
And I'll tell you who you are.
And I will tell you who you are.
That's very true.
And I think that tell it all.
Mm-hmm.
See, they're your friend. You hang out with them 2-4-7, or maybe sometime, or maybe 2-4-7. They're your friend. They're your buddy.
That's right.
It's more than a friend.
So,
they're your buddy.
Shifting from that very sociocultural kind of way of seeing things, let's get into the crumbs of mental health. Now, there are so many beautiful things around. We want to help people. We want to be part of a transformational movement or an institution. Now, think about this. The people in the nursing homes, I'm talking about nurses and all the aides and the nursing assistants and all of those people. Mm. I've seen situations in which people go there to help those who are sick, those who have been left there by loved ones. And they find themselves in situations which I know you, I just want to hear from you. Tell me, what do you think the people in the nursing homes go through, and the people who are there as nurses and nursing assistants who are there to help them, what do you think they go through? Can you tell us?
They go through a lot. Like the people the patients in the nursing home, they go through mental health issues. They go through depression because some of their families don't come see them. You know, they just left there, you know, just to be there, and they don't have anyone to love them. So the staff, that's where the staff come in. They come in and then they start to be their family. They become family to them. So whatever is going on with them, they take it on. They take on that character of being that elder woman daughter, or that elder man's daughter or son. So now his problem or her problems become their problems. So whatever they got going on, they're taking it home. They're dealing with everything that they got going on. So now it's a mental thing for them. It's like, okay, I'm stressed out because this is just a name I'm saying, Joe Sims just had failed. So now Joe Sims failed, like now I'm worrying about it. I'm not just worrying about it because he's my patient, I'm worrying about it because I didn't got close to him. Now that's like my father, you know, so now it's like I'm going home and I'm taking that home to my house, and it's like, okay, how do you
differentiate? How do you differentiate between
that home and work. So it's like, okay, I'm like, I can't, because I'm going home and I'm thinking, is he okay? And then when I get back there tomorrow, it's like I still have to deal with that. So I'm dealing with home and work all the time.
Think about it. These people will go to war. I'm not just kind of jumping around and about. These people will go to war. They go there and fight. They see all sorts of traumatic incidences, and they come back home. Do you think they can be reintegrated into the society as normal human beings after seeing so much blood, harm, suffering? Do you think?
I think that it's going to take time, but I think that the memories will never go away.
That's right.
It's gonna,
Go ahead.
It's going to always be there. It's going to always be a picture, but they're going to learn how to, there's a possibility they can learn how to deal with it, but it's going to always be there.
So that is the situation with post-traumatic stress disorder. People will go to war and they come back. They've seen so much stress, so much trauma, so much blood, so much, anxiety. Do you think, Mr. Mike, that they can play the role of a soldier and play the role of a civilian when they return home and just live as if nothing happened?
I mean, they can in such a way, but the memory will never go. The memory will never go.
What is
away.
the effect of that memory we're talking about?
In most cases, some of them be traumatized. And some of them try to work on themselves, see if they can get themselves better. And that's where therapies and some other institutions have to fit in. Because I don't believe 100% of them can do it on themselves.
Okay.
Because there's going to be like kind of flash, where they went there, what they saw. Probably some of their colleagues that they went there together.
They never returned. That's
you
true.
understand? So, in that kind of situation, that's where some institutes have to fit in because they can't do it on their own. But once there is life,
there's hope.
There is hope. So, I believe it can be fixed.
Okay.
But it cannot be 100% fixed because the memory will still be there.
That's right. That is why it's very important for people not to spend time looking at things they don't want to leave or relieve. So right now, let's get back into the nursing home. What do you think can be done? Or do you think people are strong enough to be able to survive the nursing home just like these soldiers we're talking about? Because I've seen a lot of instances in which people try to help the needy, the sick, the elderly. But at the end of the day, they find themselves suffering from mental health situations that they themselves will be needing therapy for, that they might not even recoup from those things. So can you tell me, how can somebody get into a nursing home and not be impacted negatively by the things they see?
I don't think that you can go to a nursing home and not be impacted. Only a person that doesn't have emotions or feelings cannot be impacted by someone that's an elder that's going through something. Like I don't think that it's possible not to be impacted by it. I know for a fact that I've been attacked before in a nursing home. I worked in a nursing home before for several years, and you take it home with you, and you just try to deal with it. You try to deal with the stress, the anxiety, all of that, on your own.
Some things they live with people for a long time, and they have long-term effects. Like some people might go to nursing homes. Those who work under the auspices, am I calling that right?
Hospice. Yeah.
Under the hospice department, where you watch people die. Every day you see somebody, you know that this person is going to die in a few days, in 2 days, 3 days. And you go, you see the next one, you know this person is going to die in 2-3 days. And you go and see the next one. You have a conversation with this person 1 or 2 times. And you know this person is going to be dying in 1 or 2 days. Do you think those people, after seeing so much people dying, do you think they can have a normal, joyous life after such an experience?
Well, there's grief therapy that they give you after dealing with stuff like that in hospitals and nursing homes. You have the ability to go seek a psychiatrist or a counselor to talk about what's going on, but that depends on you, your level of how you heal pertaining certain things. Like everybody don't heal the same way, so some people might be able to move forward and keep going on with their life. It all depends on how close you was with that patient or that resident. Like if you saw that resident every day, or you gave that resident a bath, or you fed that resident, it's like, okay, and now they're gone. There's no way that you're not going to think about them. When you go in that room when the next patient come in there, and it's like, okay, Mr. Blah 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 was just in this room, and now here's another patient. So then you go back to thinking about that patient. So it's kind of hard to say, like, okay, can you not think about them, or are you going to think about them? That's a hard thing. I don't know. I can't even give you a for sure answer about that, because for me personally, I would think about them if I had those joyous moments with them where, okay, I'm coming in there and I'm like, hey, Mr. Such and Such, how you doing this morning? And then I'm coming in there now and you gone, but then I know that there's another person in here and the same thing might happen to that same another person. So it's like, no, it can be a stressful situation. So your mind has to be set to think like, okay, I'm coming in an environment and it's a possibility that my patient might pass. And that's a hard thing to think about, a hard thing to deal with.
Very hard, very hard. So, Mr. Mike, considering the graphic nature of a human's memory, do you think any amount of therapy can be able to erase such difficult moments lived that has engraved some very hard things that can crush your soul? Do you think there's any therapy that has been designed by any physician, any doctor, any person that can make you become normal after living such an experience in your life?
Yeah, I think therapies can help in that kind of situation, but it depends. It might not help, but the only way it will help is if the victim can just nail the problem is happening, what the situation is all about. Let's assume from what she was saying about taking care of
The elderly?
the elderly and all that, get attached to the elderly like a family. You understand? And then it's just like individual preferences. Some people might go there, let me just go there, work a job. And some people might go there, let me go there, and then they get attached. And then the patient become like a family. People have conscience. But in that kind of situation, before the person will not get involved, so attached, it takes a minute.
So, in other words, being an attaché to the legal, the legal world, the legal sphere in America, and also as somebody who is, doing some researches on the military, I have found something in the penitentiary that is very alarming with regard to the same topic. They say all things are related. When we talk about the military after they get home from war or after service, and the nursing homes, the nurses that are working there after working and coming home, how do they live? We also have the wardens.
The what?
The wardens. Right. The jail keepers.
The water.
Yeah, the warder, in British English is warder. In America, we call them the wardens. However, I found something very alarming with these people. They are very great people, trying to, do their best to take care of the prisoners, take care of the detainees when it comes to immigration and all of that. I came to the realization of something. The people who are taking care of these detainees / inmates, they are equally entangled in that sphere as detainees or prisoners themselves. Because I have realized that they are even worse than the prisoners because they are spending more time.
Let me just say something a little bit. I'm not trying to cut you off. You see, we are all prisoners. That's where the mental health comes.
Correct.
Some people aims in them. You understand? Okay, you go in out there as a water, right?
Mm-hmm.
You coming out,
Correct.
home, right?
Correct.
And there are people over there. They're still gonna come out,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you spend more time there more than them.
That's
Because
right.
you walk right there. You're a
Right.
prisoner.
Yes.
So we are prisoners. It just depends.
When it comes to the state of institutionalizing people, those who are walking inside the prisons themselves, they are entangled. And that is why once they get out of that place, they can never become humans again as normal humans. Because think about somebody who has done 15 years in prison. The way he thinks or she thinks is never the same as every other person would think. So they have certain characteristics: lack of trust, you know,
I agree.
yes, antisocial. They are sick already, but they do not know. So do you think those people need forceful or mandatory mental health therapy sessions imposed on them?
I do. I really do. I think that they definitely need to go and seek counseling. They should have some type of program for them before they even released or even while they're in prison to let them deal with their mental health. Mental health is real and it comes from different forms, so they definitely need to be evaluated and they need to be helped. Either it's medication or therapy. But transforming from the inside world into the outside world, from population until coming out to the outside community, they're gonna need help because guess what? You've been institutionalized for so long, and you come out to the regular world, it's something totally different. You're living a whole different life, and they're not gonna know how to deal with it. So with that, it comes anger. If you don't know how to deal with some mental health, mental health is a part of anger. If you don't know how to deal with your mental health, you're getting upset because I'm frustrated right now. So I don't know how to deal with this. So now I'm upset. So then that means what you're going to do. You're going to do something that you're going to regret because you're upset because you don't know how to deal with your mental health, nor do you know how to deal with your anger. So my personal opinion, I think that they should be in some type of program for them to deal with their mental health issues.
Do you think that some people are just scared, and because of that fear, they get into certain situations that would lead them to some crisis when it comes to mental health? I'm talking in relation to, be it military, be it the nurses we're talking about, or be it the weddings that we're just talking about. Do you think some of them are scared? Do they have a certain fear to confide, or are they scared that they'll be stigmatized as though they are prisoners, that they will just sit and they will not talk?
No, to my understanding, when you be in prison for a long time, some people they be in prison for a long time, and when they're out, they don't get the same love that they get inside there. And then a lot of people, they got people being distant with them, and it's a part of traumatized to them. Mental health is real. In addition to what Miss Anisha said, there's some people like outside world, they are seeing themselves isolated with other people, like they are not where they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And in that kind of situation, they would like to do a little things in order for them to go back to prison again, because they are not getting
That love.
They are missing. They create an avenue. They have a family
In
there,
prison.
in prison, and their own family outside. They're not getting what they needed. So that's why it's good. They need to talk to counselor. I think it's even better before they came out, like she said. It's very, very important. And when they come out, they need to talk, because the people outside, like the close family, some of the close family don't want to deal with them. Some, the ones that want to deal with them, we deal with them in distance, maybe provide money or car or transportation or something. That's not what they need.
Okay. So do you think that one of the most important factors when it comes to resolving mental health issues is showing concern and spending time with these people and showing them that you care and love and you have love for them?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yes.
The most important thing is if you have a friend or a family that has been traumatized from what he went through, from military or from what he went through, from prison,
Mm-hmm.
it's better to go close to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to him or her.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him there is life. Once there is life, there's
There's
hope.
hope.
Let's talk about this. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? How do you get from point A to point B? Sure, embrace whatever come out from there. Even if it's not good, it's not okay, just sit down, have a one-on-one conversation.
So would you say that people who suffer from PTSD or mental health issues who come, for example, from prison or from the military, do you think the first point of contact they make after getting out of service or honorably being discharged honorably or maybe coming out of being released from prison, the first people they meet will determine whether they will be sane or they will recover or they will be mentally, all right. Do you think the first people they meet after coming out of prison
That's why
is very important?
Listen, that's the reason why I said it's better for one to get therapy before getting to the family.
But listen, there is
Getting to the family, it's better to get therapy because them getting a therapy before meeting the immediate ones will now help them to analyze what they've been through when they're in there.
But don't you think that people who are getting out of prison, for example, they have a mindset of, I want to get out. And they don't even have time or the consent that they will give to you to even evaluate them. Even if at all, the evaluation service does exist. So not everybody will be having that time. Their mind is just for them to get out first. And do you think mental health evaluation and therapy is readily available for a lot of people out there? Do you think?
I mean, it's out there, but a lot of people don't know.
Okay. So what do you think about that, Ms. Nisha?
I think it's out there. It's just that if you want to do it, if you want to go get it, it's there. It's available. They have free sessions for you. It's just most people with mental health issues, they don't want to address the fact that they have mental health issues. It's like, no, I don't have mental health issues. Coming from prison or coming from war, I think while they're in there, they should be evaluated.
Oh, coming from a nursing home.
Or a nursing home. Well, being in a nursing home, they should
nursing home is like a war zone. Don't you think so?
It is a war zone, but most time when people are in the nursing home, they stay there. Like they really don't go back home, but they need help inside the nursing home. They should be able to get therapy. They should be able to have a mental health counselor inside the nursing home so they can have someone to talk to. They normally don't have that. So that's something that they need to implement in a nursing home. Okay, let's do group sessions. These people's they're going through things even though they're in their older age. So yes, my thought is they need to implement something while they're in prison, while they're still in the military, before they get home, and make sure that they continue it.
So now that a lot of people have not been able, those who are already outside, now that they have not been able to have such services or privileged to have such services, those who are already outside, what do you think? The military, the veterans who are already home, those who have been traumatized by a lot of things that they've seen in nursing homes, those who have been traumatized by, domestic violence per se, what do you say in few words that they can do right now so that they can start their recovery mission and journey at this time?
I say go to county services. Go to your county. They have free programs. They're open and they're available. They have nonprofits that's willing to help you. They have resources.
Soldier with a sword.
Soldier with the sword. They have resources. Coping place. They have resources. So go to places like that and get resources. so you can get the help that you need.
So, Mr. Mike, what is the last word you have for people who they go to a place that they want to transform, but instead they come back home with mental health situations and they don't have that courage to be able to express themselves? What do you tell them?
I mean, it's okay to talk about it. There's help out there. If you don't talk about it, you won't get a help. If you don't talk about it, it might lead you to earlier grade. There's SWAS out there, Soldier with Swords, Coping Place, and other SWAS out there. Just say something. Say something.
Say something.
Say something.
Say something.
Ladies and gentlemen, say something. We are here. This is the Blank Scripture Podcast. We had and we have Miss Anisha Gate. We have Mr. Mike. We want you to understand that mental health situations do exist. You have to go out there, tell somebody your story. We understand that sometimes you tell people your stories and they bash you out. Look at the right number. Look for the right people. Make those calls. Get to those places and talk to them. Your healing is very close. Sure. This is the Blank Scripture Podcast. Thank you for listening. Until next time, subscribe.